A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a powerful display of dissent, crowds gathered in cities nationwide on Saturday for the No Kings protests, voicing their opposition to what they perceive as President Donald Trump's authoritarian tendencies. The protests, which built upon earlier demonstrations in June, drew millions of participants across all 50 states, reflecting deep-seated frustrations over the administration's controversial actions, including the criminal prosecution of political adversaries, aggressive immigration policies, and the deployment of federal troops in urban areas. From New York to Washington, D.C., Chicago to Miami, demonstrators took to the streets carrying signs emblazoned with messages like, "Nothing is more patriotic than protesting," and "Resist fascism." The No Kings Coalition, comprising around 300 different groups, has gained momentum since its inception, with organizers claiming that the turnout this weekend surpassed previous gatherings. In New York City's Times Square, thousands rallied, while in Boston, Atlanta, and Chicago, large crowds filled parks and public spaces, chanting slogans and expressing their discontent. Participants in Washington, D.C., marched through the streets, and in Los Angeles, demonstrators donned inflatable costumes, a nod to the playful yet serious nature of their message. Despite the protests being labeled as Hate America rallies by Trump supporters, many participants described the atmosphere as celebratory, akin to a street party. There were marching bands, a massive banner featuring the preamble of the U.S. Constitution for attendees to sign, and a variety of costumes that added a festive flair to the serious undertones of the protests. This mobilization comes against the backdrop of a government shutdown, which has led to the closure of federal programs and services, further fueling concerns about the balance of power in the U.S. government as the executive branch confronts Congress and the judiciary in unprecedented ways. Among the protesters was Sean Howard, a Marine veteran who expressed his alarm over what he sees as the Trump administration's blatant disregard for democratic norms. Howard, who served in Iraq and later worked for the CIA, articulated his fears about immigration detentions that bypass due process and the alarming presence of troops in American cities. "I fought for freedom and against extremism abroad," he stated, "and now I see extremism pushing us towards civil conflict here at home." While Trump spent the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago estate, he dismissed the protests during a Fox News interview, stating, "They say they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king." His comments came just before he attended a high-profile fundraiser, highlighting the stark contrast between his administration's priorities and the concerns of the protesters. In San Francisco, hundreds of demonstrators formed human letters spelling out "No King" on Ocean Beach, while in Salt Lake City, participants gathered at the state capitol, sharing messages of hope and healing in memory of a protester who was shot during an earlier march. In Birmingham, Alabama, over 1,500 people came together, echoing the city's rich history of civil rights activism. Jessica Yather, a mother of 4, expressed her feelings of dislocation in a country that seems increasingly foreign to her. "It just feels like we're living in an America that I don't recognize," she lamented, highlighting the diverse motivations that brought people together in a state where Trump had previously secured nearly 65% of the vote. The protests, while marked by a sense of urgency and seriousness, also fostered a sense of community among attendees. New York police reported no arrests during the demonstrations, indicating a largely peaceful expression of dissent. As the No Kings movement continues to grow, it remains to be seen how the administration will respond to the escalating calls for accountability and democratic integrity. The ongoing protests signify a critical moment in American political discourse, as citizens grapple with the implications of leadership that many believe threatens the very foundations of democracy. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.